to talk about a perk that is going a little too far under the radar when you pair it with the utility and somewhat freedom you get from using a prismatic subclass. Stick around for giveaway details at the end of the video. So what do I mean about freedom of prismatic? Well, you just have a lot more choices compared to other standard light and dark subclasses for obvious reasons. So switching your grenade will change your element pairings with perks like osmosis, changing the element of your tessellation shots, changing your super will grant your weapons with permeability a different element type. You get the picture. However, this video isn't about any of those perks just mentioned, but a perk that can entirely change the consistency of your weapon depending on your super of choice. I am of course talking about Elemental Capacitor. Do you need your weapon to have 50 extra reload to get you back into the gunfight quicker, not costing you a kill, activation or even hit like Outlaw and rapid hit require? Run a solar super. Do you need 50 extra handling to max out the ready speed of your shotgun so you can quickly ram it down the throat of the Titan that's charging at you? Run an arc super. Maybe you just want to build into the flying warlock fantasy so you have an extra 20 airborne effectiveness, so you run the needle storm super. Your pulse just needs a few extra stat points in the recoil direction to get you to 100, so you run a stasis super and giving yourself a little bonus in strafe speed. By far the most important stat benefit I get the most out of is running a void super, giving me a 20 stability boost to my weapon of choice, which we will get into in just a second. All of these stats are just the base form of Elemental Capacitor 2. Once that is enhanced, you get an additional 5 to each of those stats mentioned above. The perk has always been an okay pick. It is absolutely juiced when you bring Prismatic into the picture. I would say it went from B+, maybe A tier, to S+ tier. Just for a sec, I want you to take a look at these stats for a hand cannon. At first glance, what do you think this is? The stability stat alone would probably make you think it's an Austringer. But then you look at the high handling, and then you think again. This is the stat package that I'm currently pushing on my rose, a rose that I put into the vault when it dropped, on the premise that maybe one day it would be good. And it just so happens that that day has come with the launch of the Final Shape and Prismatic. And I'm glad I pulled it out and gave it a go on Prismatic, because I haven't taken this hand cannon off for about 3 weeks now when playing PvP, and nothing feels remotely like it. It sits at a healthy 73 range stat, a ridiculous 85 stability stat with heavy grip, which is also giving me nearly 21% of flinch resistance at tier 10 resilience for free. 100 handling with Ophidian aspects or 80 handling with Eye of the Storm activating in gunfights, 98 aim assist with a targeting adjuster and 2 helmet targeting mods, and on top of all that I'm getting plus 20 to my mobility stat because of the frame. This is the most consistent feeling hand cannon I have used in the game ever, and I'm not joking. Even when I compare it to my slide shot explosive payload God Roll Rose, or my slide shot opening shot nearly God Roll Rose. Now don't get me wrong, those ones do still feel great, but it just doesn't compare to the Elemental Capacitor Rose that I have been using for the last few weeks. I haven't wanted to take this off since using it, really. Maybe I would like to test out this exact roll, but switching out Eye of the Storm for opening shot, just to see if that would feel any better, and potentially pushing out my range a little bit more. But for now, I am more than happy using this version as my main hand cannon. The main point of this video was really just to demonstrate how good the rose is with Elemental Capacitor, but let's switch to the secondary slot and talk about what I think is the best pairing for the rose that would also benefit highly from 20 extra stability stats. Fusion rifles. I tried a couple of fusions in this slot, but ultimately landed on one. It's something that had a chance to stand up against shotguns in this meta, when an Elemental Capacitor shotgun wouldn't see any benefits from this build. I went down the route of firmly planted an elemental capacitor for the boost instability, making sure those bolts stayed on target as much as possible to secure the kill. An aim assist from firmly planted makes it a little easier to land on target. I built my masterwork and battery around charge time, giving me a better chance when coming face to face with a shotgun. 74 stability, sliding into an engagement on a decently fast fusion rifle that is capable of killing slightly beyond 16 meters is kinda crazy. Of course you can mix and match your supers for different stats and your weapons too, but for me this has been my current PvP loadout obsession. I don't see me taking off for a little while. I always value consistency first, and elemental capacitor gives me everything I need all wrapped up in one little perk. If it's been able to measure up at this highly annoying Kvostov meta, I'd say it's worth giving a go if you've got one sat in your vault or a weapon sat in your vault with elemental capacitor that you can think of utilising in different ways that you probably didn't think of before Prismatic came out. If you've made it this far, I thank you for your viewing. We are starting up this channel again now that the personal time is a bit more free and available, and we have plans to keep growing this channel consistently in the coming weeks. If this video gave you any useful insights, a like would be appreciated, and subscribe if you would like to see more. To help support the channel, a giveaway of $10 or £10 depending on your region Amazon gift card is going to be up for grabs. All you have to do is like, subscribe and leave a comment below to be entered. If you can't think of a comment to leave, you can simply just leave Prismatic. There will be one more chance to get entries in and to double your entries on the next video, so stay tuned for that. In an upcoming video, I will be discussing why I switched from my hunter main of 7 years to a warlock when hunters are currently PvP meta. Crucible is running rampant with swarm grenades, snare bombs and threaded spectres. At the moment, I would say Crucible's probably been up there with one of the most annoying metas we've ever experienced. But that is a topic for another video. And with that, that is good soup.